to make amends today. And okay, this is the position. Just a quick action replay of the first three moves. We started with this pawn stepping forward, and one of the key components of this position, and any freestyle chess position, as pointed out by Levon Aronian yesterday, you have to look for loose pawns, weak pawns. This was an immediate threat. This was reacted to by a knight developing, defending the pawn. Here, Alireza develops his own knight, and now reinstating the threat somewhat. He's intending to even capture this knight, followed by taking the pawn, if given the opportunity. So Gukesh has some concrete problems to solve already. How to guard against this threat? Is it a threat? That's the first question.
You get your queen out early on, it can sometimes backfire, it can shut its way back. But David, I also would really like to break down the starting position that we had. What were the elements of that, these moves that are being played, why the players chose it. So if we just go back and point out, because it's very different from all the freestyle positions we've had. You've got those two knights in the corner. Always you want the knights at the center of the board because that's where they control maximum number of squares. The undefended pawns are the ones on the H file in front of that knight. You've got the queen and the bishop, right, which are long-range pieces at the other corner of the board. And usually we see in freestyle chess, if that happens, you really want to get them out, get those pawns moving in front to open up the diagonals. Also want to point out that the king can in fact castle on the left side of the board on the very first move. So I think these are the elements that stand out in this position. What about you, Levy? What do you think about this starting 8-6-6 that we've got in front of us?
It's kind of an annoying position. I was just taking a look at Keimer and Caruana historically, but I know we're on Firouzja Gukesh here, but I think it might be headed in a similar direction. And I mean, these guys have also probably played each other. We'll have more unorthodox inaccuracies and mistakes than any other. Yeah, because it's a matchup for 7th, and there's something in chess called last round syndrome, which is, the tournament is over. This is not exactly the last round. They have to play tomorrow. In fact, they might actually have to play many more games if it's tied. But you're just like, it hasn't been my tournament. I just kind of want it to be over, so let's just play fast. And if Gukesh has to not get baited into playing Firouzja's game, which is fast, carefree, like Gukesh really takes care of his position.
That's a great point. I think, these two belonging to the same generation, there is a clash of styles in Alireza and Gukesh, David.
Yeah, definitely. I would say Firouzja is more instinctive. Gukesh is more kind of hard logic, calculation based. And both players often get in time trouble, I should say, but just thinking in their own very different ways. Firouzja just always wants a mess. Gukesh happy to embrace the mess as long as he knows what's happening. And already we see that inaccuracy, James. Question mark given to this last move. Maybe Gukesh has been baited. He's blocked this bishop's diagonal in the corner here, but he's loosened some light squares, some white squares around the center. I really don't like the look of that move. I'm not sure the exact concrete reason why it might be bad. I don't think white can force a win or anything, but strategically a bit dubious.
Well, to that end, then, let's maybe explore
Alireza stepping in with his own king. And now he's got to decide, because, David, do you have to switch diagonals here?
You might just have to switch diagonals. I think... Well, he doesn't. I was going to say, switching diagonals would have been totally fine. The black bishop could have come round, as we saw earlier, kind of defended the pawn from the front, but instead he drops back. And his trick here, it took me a second to realise, Tanya, but if the white knight goes chasing the black bishop, you just ignore the bishop, and the black king can actually start snacking on the pawns, eliminating the two white pawns while the knight is distracted.
This is why I thought that you have to switch diagonals.
Me too.
So this is still pretty sneaky, right? And just a complete awareness that you've got your king as well as your bishop, so sometimes you don't have to defend a piece that's attacked. Look all over the board, look at your options, and I think we're seeing Alireza step in with the knight. Gukesh now 2 moves away from getting that draw.
He's going to take that white pawn off the board. Alireza most likely is going to keep the tension alive, just 1 or 2 more moves. He's going to drop the white king back. So we're going to save the pawn. But we continue, at least 1 set of pawns off the board. The 50 move rule resets for everyone at home enjoying this marathon. But now the problem for Alireza is his pawn will never be able to move without being captured by the black bishop.
Just don't trade the bishop for the knight. That single pawn will go on to promote a queen and give checkmate, so you just want to keep your bishop alive and guard the square in front of the pawn, and then give itself up.
I must admit, when I was first learning chess, that was the one thing I struggled with in an endgame. It's like, why would you trade your bishop for a knight? Bishop for a pawn when it can be for a knight? When, okay, here the players do shake hands. They have finally agreed to that draw. Alireza giving up his winning chances, but he was winning the whole game. He escaped for Gukesh, the world champion.
He's had so many brilliant looks through the early and mid game, right? Time and time again, we've checked in on his board somewhere in the middle of the match, and he's had at least a point or 2 advantage, but just struggling to convert some of those advantages in the end, and it has equated to a tumultuous tournament. These 2 players will each enter day 2 of our final round with half a point apiece.
And what a fight it really was, right? With Alireza pushing through, and then Gukesh